Okay, gents, let's now focus on the big one, the World Cup final. Let's preview it. We've been building up to this for an entire, nearly month now in the World Cup in Qatar. Argentina against France. Can Lionel Messi finally get that World Cup win? That is legacy. I think we all can agree, and any football fan across the world can agree he deserves. He's been superb in this tournament, Nick Mendola. Can he be stopped, though? I mean, I think his partnership with Julian Alvarez, that's been key, right, in terms of getting the best out of Argentina's attack, and the midfield is just going along very nicely underneath him. So all roads point to Lionel Messi, both in terms of the legacy, how France are going to try and stop Argentina. But this is so intriguing, right? This storyline, this is what we all kind of, I think, hoped for at the start of this World Cup, to see him lining up, 90 minutes to go, 90 minutes to prove he's one win away, from his legacy, and just finally putting all those doubters to one side and saying, you know what, I can win the World Cup. I am going to be on the same level as Pelé and Maradona. And this is going to be an incredible moment for Messi if he manages to pull it off. So what are you looking forward to from Lionel Messi in the World Cup final?
So let me start with the sort of analyst, fan, soccer. I'm not a soccer historian, but those of us who might qualify for being in that class, I almost want it to happen just to see what the discussion is afterwards. I know what the discussion is if Argentina loses this match, and that's fine. He's fantastic, but he never won a World Cup, and okay, sure, whatever. But I want to see what the discussion is when he does win. Will it be uniformly embraced? And especially in Argentina, which has been especially tough on him because he left Argentina to go to Europe, and they didn't think it was necessary at the time. But one of the reasons I admire Messi is because of the character he's shown as a very young player, going overseas, wanting to go home, the growth hormones that he needed. Because, I mean, let's face it, if we ran into him on the street, he would be the less donut-addled version of me. Like, I might be taller than Messi, and I am a small Italian-American man. So there's an everyman quality about him, and there's also the magician's quality about him. And that's what I want to see a show. I want Mbappe. I want him. I want somehow Angel Di Maria to look like he has in big games. And Griezmann, we didn't even mention him earlier, arguably the performer of the tournament in terms of your string pullers of the day. So, as we move forward here, I just want to have fun. I want both teams to have fun. Like the old t-shirt says, like, I just hope both teams have fun. Andy, are you in that zone, or are you like, I clearly need a winner?
Well, we are going to have a winner. I think Messi doesn't have to have it to secure the legacy. Like you say, Nick, like what he has done so far has been enough. But for this is really, and I think I don't even think that it should be, but this is really about online, isn't it? It's about the people that always have to troll. And so I'm choosing, as we go into this World Cup final, to just completely look the other direction and focusing and I mean it, because this is going to be one of those moments, I think, I don't see how it cannot be, that at 30 years, 40 years, 50 years down the line, we think back to the 2022 World Cup final. I remember where I watched that. I remember what happened in that game. I remember where I was. There are so few of those moments, I think, that for everybody in the world to share. Obviously, you have them in your own city or your own country, things that happen. But when you get one on a global scale like that people from one corner of the globe all the way to the other will have those same memories of that day, of what they did, how they experienced it, and then they'll tell that on in the future. That is something so incredibly bigger than any, who's the GOAT conversation. They're a choker. They couldn't win the big one, all of that stuff. It's so much more than that.
I think when it comes to Messi, right, he's just the pure artist. He's the pure, he is, when you think of how the game should be played, he plays it that way. The passing, the movement, the dribbling, the attacking. He is, when you grow up and you want to be, a player, that is how you want to play the game, and that's the kind of hero that you want to be. So I think whoever you support going into this World Cup final, I just think it's hard to root against him. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's hard to go any other way than saying I'd love to see him do this, and then kind of like you said, Nick, put the conversations to one side, saying he's done it now. It doesn't matter about the conversations and the comparisons and all the rest of it, because he has that one missing piece of the jigsaw that everyone kind of chucks at him. That, oh, you've never done it at a World Cup. He's done it at this World Cup. He's been brilliant at this World Cup. So now let's see if he can finish it off and complete that legacy. But Andy, when we talk about sort of France, and the one word I'd sum up for them when we look at this final is grisly. They do this dirty stuff very well. They have talents to succeed, and very talented players. But they just find a way, right? They find a way throughout this tournament of just getting the job done. And there's a lot to admire about that. But also tactically, when I look at this battle, very similar to Argentina. They both kind of want to be, they're more comfortable playing on the counter and letting the other team come onto them. So I wonder how that's really going to add up. Is it going to be a standoffish final, or is it going to be an all-out attack and just see which attacking player or which superstar when it comes to Messi and Mbappe who's really going to take over this game?
Yeah, it's weird to think of France with a player like Mbappe as kind of grinding out games, but they have had to do a lot of that at this tournament because they don't have the midfield and they don't really have the defense either, and that's become more and more clear as the tournament has gone on. Also evident in the fact that they have just not rotated back there whatsoever, and the forced rotation of Adrien Rabiot due to illness almost completely tanked their World Cup run. It almost cost them that semifinal against Morocco, and that's a statement I cannot 3 weeks into this tournament believe I'm saying, but it's absolutely fact. And so they are very, very limited in some of those deeper areas where Argentina are very, very strong. The midfield is just really, really tough to play through, and I think that will give. I think where Argentina's strength lies will give France a little bit more trouble than France's strength up top able to get at the Argentine back line. I just think that, especially in finals, it's never quite as open. It's never quite as attacking as you think it's going to be. And that little bit of difference, I think, always favors the team that's a little bit more solid and can just kind of can just walk through parts of the game without being in danger. They can just make minutes disappear off the clock until the right moment comes. And that feels like Argentina to me, whereas France is just all gas, no brakes 100% of the time.
Nick, when we look at individual battles in this game, is it in midfield? Do you feel like Argentina might have the edge, given how Enzo Fernandez, Rodrigo de Paul, Alexis McAllister have been playing as a unit? Is that kind of where this game is going to be won and lost? And out wide as well, right? I feel like sometimes it's quite easy to get in behind this French defense and cause them problems. But, you know, there are key battles, right? I think Andy touched on it there. Defensively, there are cracks in both of these teams, and you know they're coming up against some incredible attacks on either side. So there is a recipe here for potentially one of the greatest finals of all time in World Cup history.
I mean, look at the last time these teams met in a World Cup, 4-2. I realize that was Messi scoring late to make it 4-2, but the goals can be there. The goals can absolutely be there. I'm thinking, though, if I'm watching visions of Mbappe turning the corner and Messi turning the corner, I will be the enduring image for me so far of Argentina in this tournament more than anything. It's torn between two. One, the goal right atop the box against Mexico that Messi smashes with his first touch. But probably more than that is the Meg pass after turning arguably the defender of the tournament in Joško Gvardiol to score that goal. And if you didn't watch today thinking that when you were watching the France game and their defense and what Morocco did late, imagine all of those plays happening with Lautaro Martinez or Alvarez or Messi on the end. And
Dybala looked incredible off the bench the other day. I love him.
He is. It must have been an injury thing because boy did he look good. So I think I would. I don't expect either team to have a 0 next to their name when the game ends tomorrow or this weekend.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.